I wish that heaven had visiting hours, so I could just show up and bring the news that she's getting older. And I wish that you met her. The things that you learned from me, I got them all from you. Can I just stay a while and we'll put all the world to rights? The little ones will grow and I'll still drink your favorite wine. And soon they're going to close, but I'll see you another day. So much has changed since you've been away. I wish that heaven had visiting hours, so I could just swing by and ask your advice. What would you do in my situation? I haven't a clue how I'd even raise them. What would you do? 'Cause you always do what's right. And we just took a while until my worries disappear. I'll tell you that I'm scared of turning out a failure. You'd say, remember that the answer's in the love that we create. So much has changed since you've been away. I wish that heaven had visiting hours, and I would ask them if I could take you home. But I know what they'd say, that it's for the best. So I will live life the way you taught me and make it on my own. I will close the door, but I will open up my heart. And everyone I love will know exactly who you are. 'Cause this is not goodbye, it is just till we meet again. So much has changed since you've been away.
What a great song. What we once enjoyed and deeply loved, we can never lose, for all that we love deeply becomes part of us. It is with these words by author and political activist Helen Keller that we gather today to honour and to celebrate Annie's life, and acknowledge that although we say farewell today, we do not say goodbye, because those who have known and loved her know that she remains deeply part of them. Good afternoon. My name is Dorothy O'Brien. I'm a civil celebrant, and together with Simplicity Funerals, in particular Barb and the staff here today, I feel very privileged to be here to guide you through this farewell. On behalf of Annie's family, I warmly welcome you here, and I extend their appreciation for the warmth and good wishes expressed by many, as well as the cards and the beautiful flowers that have been sent in honour of Annie and also in support of the family. The family also extend a very warm welcome to those of us who will join us via our live stream service. You may not be here in person, however, your presence is warmly felt and much appreciated. Today, as we gather together, we will honour and celebrate the life of Johanna Elizabeth Irene Vanet, Hoondendale, or simply Annie, as she was warmly known. Stories will be shared, emotions will flow, just as they should be allowed to flow through us all. You may feel sadness, you may feel a sense of loss that life has taken its course, even though the last few months in particular have presented their challenges health-wise. All of these emotions are expected at a time of loss. They ebb and they flow through us all in different ways. However, in the sharing of stories, memories and reflections comes the warmth of a full life lived and a love shared, and memories that will live on in your hearts long, long after today's farewell. Before we begin, could I just ask you to take a moment to double check those phones are on silent? Thank you. We begin this afternoon in acknowledgement of Annie's faith, and so I invite you, should you wish, to join me in saying the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. The loss of a loved one is never easy to come to terms with, let alone to understand. The way, the age, the time, the place, none of these things help to make it acceptable or understandable. Part of us, part of our lives is missing, and in turn, part of us aches for that loss. What do we do with this sense of loss? We can feel frustrated and overwhelmed with sadness, or we can try to be grateful for what we've had and what we've shared. Perhaps it's a mix of both these emotions that we need to work through, to try, as we may, to accept the circle of life, and to celebrate all that has been good, all that has been shared, and all that remains to be cherished within us. Annie lived a full life, leaving much behind that will be cherished, despite, or perhaps even because of, the many health challenges that she had endured throughout her life. From a young age, Annie suffered health issues, so that a yearly hospital stay had come to be expected. Despite these challenges, Annie remained positive and never gave in to her poor health and never ever complained. However, the diagnosis of CBD, a rare degenerative disease, some 7 years ago, brought an irreversible decline in her health, which, on Annie's part, was met with determination to fight and live the best life she possibly could. This decline brought changes and the reversal of roles in the household. Freddie, her loving and devoted husband of 58 years, with the help and support of his family, took on the role of carer, ensuring that Annie could remain at home for longer than may have otherwise been expected. The family readily acknowledged the amazing job that their dad did in caring for their mum with such devotion and keeping her at home with him for so long. It was only in the last 4 months that Annie had been transferred to Lifeview Residential Care in Cranbourne, where her needs could be better met. In the end, Annie's deteriorating health meant that she required a higher level of care, of palliative care, and she was transferred to Casey Hospital. During her final days there, the family were able to spend time with Annie and say their goodbyes. Even as her speech drifted, she knew that they were there, surrounded by her family's love, and with her beloved husband Freddie and her daughter Jackie by her side. Annie passed peacefully having accepted that her time had come at 9:53 p.m. on Saturday, the 4th of September, leaving behind a large and loving legacy of which she was justly very proud. And it is through this legacy that Annie will live on. And it's with this thought that Margaret and Jackie are going to share a verse with us now, which they have selected. It's titled, "I Heard Your Voice in the Wind Today," and it's by Tim Edds. So may I invite Margaret and Jackie to come and share these words with us now?
I can't read it. I heard your voice in the wind today and turned to see your face. The warmth of the wind caressed me as I stood silently in place.
I felt your touch in the sun today as its warmth filled the sky. I closed my eyes for your embrace and my spirits soared high.
I saw your eyes in the window pane as I watched the falling rain. It seemed as each raindrop fell, it quietly said your name.
I held you close in my heart today. It made me feel complete. You may have died, but you are not, and you are not gone. You will always be a part of me.
As long as the sun shines, the wind blows, the rain falls, you will live on inside of me forever, for that is all my heart knows.
Thank you for sharing that. That's a lovely verse, isn't it? Yeah. All that my heart knows. I love those last words too. It's with these thoughts of Annie in our hearts that it's time to hear a little of her life story. And today I'm not going to be the one telling you her life story. It's going to come from someone who knew her very, very well, her son Paul. So Paul, may I invite you to share your story with us now? There you go.
Johanna Elizabeth Irene Boker. Born Saturday, the 2nd of June 1945, in the seaside town of Enkhuizen, North Holland. Mother, Catherine Boker. Father, Willem Boker. Siblings, Ida, deceased. Ali, Bill, deceased, and Tinny. Johanna's early childhood was full of fun times, playing games like hopscotch, spinning tops, hula hoops, and ice skating with her sisters. One of her all-time favourites was her family white Christmas. Her family worked hard on the land, growing vegetables all year round. It was a 7-day-a-week task which involved long days and long nights, often working before and after school. Family holidays just didn't happen. Primary school was just down the road from the family home, where they generally walked together to school. High school, otherwise, was a bike ride, or during winter, ice skating via the canals. Most children these days have something that accompanies them to school, let it be a toy or a football, but in Mum's case, it was a small container of sewing needles, buttons, and cotton thread. One of my fondest stories about Mum was when she was at school, one day being bullied in the classroom, and she retaliated, and as a result was sent out of the classroom to think about her behaviour. While sitting there, Mum didn't reflect on her actions, but decided to pull from her pocket her little case containing a needle and thread. She proceeded to sew the school bags of the bullies whilst hanging on the hooks. They soon realised when the school bell went who they were dealing with. During the year of 1959-60, Johanna's parents decided they would immigrate to Australia. "I don't want to live with the kangaroos," was one of the comments I clearly remember Mum saying. In late June 1960, they arrived in Australia. After 6 weeks on the ship from Holland to Melbourne, where Mum was extremely seasick, She had several falls down flights of stairs, breaking a few fingers for her troubles. Upon their arrival, the family had then travelled via train to Bonegilla, near Wodonga, a 13-hour trip. Bonegilla's major function was to process the house migrants, find work for new arrivals, and to provide courses in English and the Australian way of life. After 10 days, the family returned via train with the support of a sponsor and found their family home at 10 Rutherglen Street, Noble Park. The family would move after a year or so and reside in Springvale, 48 St John's Avenue. Johanna commenced work as a shop assistant at a delicatessen to Grave Street in Melbourne. Johanna's sister, Ali, also worked at the delicatessen, but in Springvale, where a young, keen Freddie and his mother, Alida, would visit to purchase fresh meats and cheese. They connected because they could speak Dutch to each other. Just prior to Freddie's 21st birthday, Freddie's mum, Alida, invited Ali to his 21st birthday party at 22 St John's Avenue, just down the road. Ali also lived on St John's Avenue at number 48. 2 weeks after Freddie's birthday party, Freddie popped down to see Ali and thanked her for attending the birthday. Well, on that day, Freddie met Ali's sister, Johanna, and the rest is history. Freddie and Johanna dated under strict guidelines set out by Johanna's father, Willem. Sitting next to each other and holding hands was strictly not permitted. After dating for nearly a year, Freddie built up the courage and asked Willem if he could take Johanna away on a weekend to Healesville. He agreed. The next 9 months were going to be very busy. Johanna was pregnant. Johanna and Freddie would marry on April the 27th, 1963. Johanna and Freddie Van Honderdale would have 4 children: Margaret, Ronnie, Jacqueline, and myself, Paul. Mum and Dad were married for an incredible 58 years. Mum is a loving, caring and gentle soul. She couldn't hurt a fly. She looked out for us kids like no tomorrow. She was our protective angel. We learnt the very best skills that hold us in good stead today. Mum's cooking was like a surprise every night. We never missed out. Desserts were endless: pavlova, trifle, apple strudel, fruitcake, and my personal favourite, lemon meringue. I remember my daughter Cassie asking me, "Dad, why do you do that?" I replied, "I do it because Alma does it. If it was good enough for my mum, it was good enough for me." She encouraged us all to be involved in the kitchen. We're always fighting over the whisks from the Kenwood. Mum's passion for craft was endless: knitting, making clothes with the sewing machine, embroidery, quilting, beading, and our favourite, her bear and doll making. The time and effort was beyond belief. A perfectionist she was. Mum taught us kids valuable life skills, especially her cooking and craft skills. Family camping trips were always a fond memory. When on one visit to Wilson's prom, Mum stuck in a vacuum cleaner and iron without Dad's knowledge, not understanding there was no power on site. Mum was the go-to for everything, because anything you asked her, you always received the answer yes. The word no did not exist in her vocab. She would be our go-to, especially for notes from school when we were in trouble, so Dad didn't find out. To everyone, our mum is Johanna, Annie, Anne, Bozo, and Mrs. Veer. As we grew older, our own children, Margaret, Ronnie, Jacqueline and myself, started our own families. And this resulted in 12 grandchildren and 19 great-grandchildren. In the early years, Mum's tradition at number 8 Isaac Road, Keysborough, was to bathe the grandkids in our ceramic kitchen sink. She was an incredible mother and Alma. As many of you know, Mum became unwell and Dad had to become her primary carer for the past 10 years. He learned quickly how to cook and clean, and most importantly, look after Mum. His efforts will always be remembered. We rallied as a family and even more importantly, to give Mum and Dad support. Margaret led from the front, and the rest of us chipped away. Her love for candles, especially around Christmas time, would light up our home. A family feast enjoyed by all. Roses would bloom in our garden, and our home would always be filled with flowers. Our family home was always open to our friends, who simply would make themselves at home. Extended stays, foods, laughs, and pure love shown. Mum would spoil them all. Today is a celebration of Mum's life. She has left so many lasting memories. She will be forever in our hearts and never forgotten. May she rest in peace.
Thank you, Paul. That was so beautifully spoken and just leaves us with a lovely, lovely vision of a happy family home, of love shared and good times. And there's nothing more that anyone would want for a family, is there, Freddie? In celebrating Annie's life, the family have chosen a verse that goes beautifully with what Paul has just expressed. The verse is called She Is Gone. It's by David Harkins. And the words that David Harkins writes echo Paul's words and the lasting memories of love very, very well. Now, we are very privileged today that Ronnie and Margaret are going to share this verse with us now. Ronnie will sign and Margaret will read.
You can shed tears that she is gone, or you can smile because she has lived. You can close your eyes and pray that she will come back. Or you can open your eyes and see all that she has left. Your heart can be empty because you can't see her, or you can be full of the love that you shared. You can turn your back on tomorrow and live yesterday, or you can be happy for tomorrow because of yesterday. You can remember her and only that she is gone, or you can cherish her memory and let it live on. You can cry and close your mind, be empty and turn your back. Or you can do what Mum would have wanted. Smile, open your eyes, love, and go on. Good job. Love you, Mama.
What an absolutely beautiful, beautiful presentation of that verse. Thank you, Ronnie. Beautiful. We've shared quite a few words about Annie. Now it's time to look back over her life in a different way. We're going to do it in photographs. As we reflect upon a person's life, there are so many stories and so many memories. It's often hard to cover everything, but photos are different. Each one, as the saying goes, speaks 1,000 words. So, having heard a little bit of Annie's life story in words, in a couple of ways, which was beautifully done, let's do just that. Let's sit back, let's relax, and as you watch this photo tribute, try to go back in your mind to a happy time that you spent with Annie.
For all those times you stood by me, for all the truth that you made me see, for all the joy you brought to my life, for all the wrong that you made right, for every dream you made come true, for all the love I found in you, I'll be forever thankful, baby. You're the one who held me up, never let me fall. You're the one who saw me through it all. You were my strength when I was weak. You were my voice when I couldn't speak. You were my eyes when I couldn't see. You saw the best there was in me, lifted me up when I couldn't reach. You gave me faith 'cause you believe I'm everything I am because you loved me. You gave me wings and made me fly. You touched my hand, I could touch the sky. I lost my faith, you gave it back to me. You said no star was out of reach. You stood by me and I stood tall. I had your love, I had it all. I'm grateful for each day you gave me. Maybe I don't know that much, but I know this much is true. I was blessed because I was loved by you. You were my strength when I was weak. You were my strength. You were my voice when I couldn't speak. You were my eyes when I couldn't see. You saw the best there was in me, lifted me up when I couldn't reach. You gave me faith 'cause you believed I'm everything I am because you loved me. Oh, you were all might have appeared to go unnoticed, but I've got it all here in my heart. I want you to know I know the truth. Of course I know I would be nothing without you. Did you ever know that you're my hero? You're everything I wish I could be. I could fly higher than an eagle. You are the wind beneath my wings. Did I ever tell you you're my hero? You're everything, everything I wish I could be. Oh, night, I can fly higher than an eagle. You are the wind beneath my wings. 'Cause you are the wind beneath my wings. Oh, the wind beneath my wings. You are the wind beneath my wings. Fly, fly away. You let me fly so high. You, the wind beneath my wings. Oh, the wind beneath my wings.
What a wonderful collection of photos that you've put together. And it's so true, isn't it? Every photo, you could pick it up and you could talk for half an hour about each one, when it happened, how it happened, who was there, how you felt. It's just a beautiful compilation. Well done. And now we come to the conclusion. As we come to the conclusion of the service today, it's so evident that Annie was very much loved and will be greatly missed, particularly by her large extended family. Her beloved husband of 58 years, Freddie, will miss the constant presence of in his life, the one he simply shared everything with. Children, Margaret, Ronnie, Jackie and Paul will miss their mum's kindness, warmth and unconditional love. And then there are the 12 precious grandchildren who will miss their much-loved Oma, as well as the amazing 19 great-grandchildren, I believe ranging in age from 8 months to 13 years. Annie's remaining siblings, Ali and Tinny, will also hold their own special memories of their big sister, and many others who have known Annie's kindness will miss her and remember her. Each will hold their own special memory. Each will hold a place in their hearts for their precious wife, mum, Oma, sister and friend. As Paul so beautifully expressed earlier, Annie will be forever in their hearts and never forgotten. Perhaps it is these thoughts that may help us to accept the circle of Annie's life and God's plan for each of us, as expressed so beautifully in this reading from Ecclesiastes 3, which Ali is going to share with us now. Ali, would you like to come? I have it here, but you can read your copy.
Okay. Yes. A reading from Ecclesiastes. Everything that happens in this world happens at the time God chooses. He sets the time for birth and the time for death, the time for planting and the time for healing, the time for tearing down and the time for building. He sets the time for sorrow and the time for joy, the time for mourning and the time for dancing. What do we gain from all our work? I know the heavy burdens that God has laid on us. He has set the right time for everything. He has given us a desire to know the future, but never gives us the satisfaction of fully understanding what He does. So I realized that all we can do is to be happy and do the best we can while we are still alive. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ali. And what more can we do than the best we can whilst we are still here? And it's certainly evident that Annie did that and more. May I ask you now to please stand as we say our final farewell. Annie, in this last act, and in sorrow, but without fear, in love and appreciation for all that you have been to many in this life, we commit your body to its natural end. We entrust you to God's arms and to those of your mother Catherine, your sister Edda, and your brother Bill, who are waiting to welcome you. From the words of St. Francis of Assisi, we offer this blessing for your journey. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May He show His face to you and have mercy. May He turn His countenance to you and give you peace. May the Lord bless you. Annie, may you rest in peace.
Well, I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do ya? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, and the major lift. The baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Well, your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof, her beauty and the moonlight overthrew ya. She tied you to her kitchen chair your hand. From your lips she drew the hallelujah. Baby, I've been here before. I've seen this room and I've walked this floor. I used to live alone before I knew you. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Well, I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do ya? Well, it goes like this: the fourth,